What a fantastic crowd. Thank you so much for coming. We couldn't have asked for a better day, and what a great place to launch the event. This was Charlie's idea to have it down in Neenah at Shattuck Park, and I think he hit home run just with the location alone. So many of you know me already, some I'm meeting just for the first time here, so I just want to kind of briefly introduce myself a little bit. My name is Mark Scheffler. I'm a lifelong Wisconsin resident, grew up in rural Marathon County just outside of Wausau. I am a business owner. I own a primary Appleton group in downtown Appleton. I'm a proud progressive, and I'm an avid outdoorsman. I've been in nature my entire life, and I'm here today to announce my candidacy for Wisconsin State Senate. So my journey today has been a long time in coming. It's been 52 years of listening to the people of Wisconsin, to family members, to people in urban areas, people in rural areas. And living outside of Wausau, I tell you, life was just really, really good. I grew up on the banks of the Wisconsin River. The place that I grew up in was just outside of the city limits. And literally I could walk across the street, hit the railroad tracks, turn right, and walk to Upper Michigan if I wanted to, and see the Wisconsin River right there. It was a great place to be. We had ample food, a loving family. Our well never ran dry. Life was really, really good. Well, I moved to Appleton about 30 years ago to come to Lawrence University, and I fell in love with this part of the state and fell in love with the people in this part of the state as well, who call it home. My two brothers graduated from what was then called North Central Technical Institute, and I was the first one in my family to graduate from a four-year college, Lawrence University. I moved to Kenosha, Wisconsin when I graduated and taught in an urban junior high school. Sometimes it was me and 85 junior high school students in a room together. That was fun. That was an experience. It was an experience that would really shape the rest of my life. See, my politics and my life kind of go hand in hand. It starts from a place that I think is sorely lacking in today's politics, and that's gratitude. It's a recognition that over so many generations, we've built a great state and a great nation. We all have so much to be thankful for, so many of us do. But our union isn't perfect, and we're at a critical crossroads in a critical moment in time. We face significant challenges today in making sure that the promise of our state and the promise of our nation is extended to everyone, to all of us, and that it lasts for generations to come. My vision for Wisconsin could be summed up in one word: sustainability. It's a word that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. But to me, it reflects back on the idea that for so many of us, life is really pretty good. But hidden in the shadows in our state are literally millions of people who struggle and for whom everyday life is a daily effort to just get by. A struggle to make ends meet, a struggle to put food on the table, a struggle to get up in the morning and do meaningful work, a struggle to make payroll for your employees, a struggle to stay healthy, a struggle to get ahead and stay ahead, a struggle to make your voice heard, and a struggle to leave a positive mark on the world around you. For me, sustainability isn't really about organic broccoli and windmills, although our friends in Little Chute would agree. They're all in favor of windmills, right? But for me, it's about three things that are universal to all of us, and that is creating a sustainable economy, creating a sustainable society, and creating a sustainable Wisconsin environment. In a moment, we're going to share, In a moment, we're going to share a kind of a communion, actually. It's a wonderful 3-layer cake of sustainability made by Dawn Ebert and her staff at Simple Simon Bakery right in downtown Appleton, Wisconsin Avenue. I say communion intentionally because no matter who you are, no matter your race or creed, no matter your sex, your political identity, no matter who you love, we're all welcome to share in this bounty of this beautiful morning, of this great state, and to share in the many talents that our residents offer every single day. But now that I've made you hungry for cake, I want to briefly share a few of my priorities in my run for Wisconsin State Senate, because there's a lot of work to do. So think of the cake, it's 3 layers. The top layer on our 3-layer cake of sustainability is the economy. As a successful investment manager, a fiduciary, an entrepreneur, and a business leader, I bring a unique perspective to this idea of sustainability. Over my 25 years in financial services, I've listened to the unique stories literally of thousands of workers and employers and business owners. I've led a team that's produced more than $100 million of investment gains for family across this region, and I know firsthand how important it is for all of us that the economy of this region continues to thrive. I have a plan to focus on beneficial economic growth built on innovation, not on debt. At all levels of government, out of control debt, and deficit spending is really unsustainable. Our national debt has quadrupled in the past 20 years. We need to start a national conversation about what kind of growth is most beneficial, about more sustainable economic policies, and about ending poverty in all of its forms. And poverty is that hidden shadow that's in this community. My experience in sustainable economics and free market innovation is good for businesses. It's good for workers, and I think is exactly the kind of leadership that we need right now. I have a plan for bold grassroots tax reform that streamlines the way we collect taxes at the state and at the federal level eventually. It really hasn't changed much since 1913. It's a tax plan born at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It's one of the great ideas in the state that you probably haven't heard of yet, and it would actually replace all income tax, capital gains tax, Social Security taxes, taxes on withdrawals from your IRAs and 401ks with a kind of a consumption tax. It's a tax that taxes a tiny, tiny amount whenever money changes hands, as little as 25 cents per $100. It would really change the way we pay taxes. It would ensure that everyone pays some taxes based on their ability and their participation in the economy. It would also make April 15th just another wonderful day in the state. It's called the APT tax. It's one of the best ideas to come out of Wisconsin in years, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that. I have a plan to make our cities and our rural communities more inclusive, more safe, resilient, and sustainable. We need a statewide conversation about the proper scale of our economy, about the kinds of growth that are best, and about creating a shared 20-year plan for sufficiency. I have a plan to make Wisconsin the national leader in the emerging field of agricultural bioproducts, creating a regional market for electricity and manufacturing. This plan would help end farm bankruptcies, renew our rural communities, and help strengthen our nation's manufacturing base. Nighttime football, home package delivery, advanced bioplastics, and durable construction materials, all brought to you by Wisconsin farmers and manufacturers. And I have a plan for younger workers. Dependable, talented, and motivated young adults are the future of this great state. And creating a more diverse, welcoming, inclusive, and progressive Wisconsin is actually the simple key to getting them here and keeping them here. It's really just that simple. I'll propose an advanced high-speed regional transportation system that connects our 4 major playgrounds of Lambeau Field, American Family Field, Camp Randall, and Granite Peak, all designed and built by our talented young engineers, construction workers, economists, and techies. It's a plan sure to attract national attention and interest from around the world. The second layer in our layer cake represents the sustainability of our society. 2 years ago, I participated, like many of you do, in the Imagine Fox Cities initiative funded by the local community foundation. I fully support its vision statement where kids get off to a strong start and on a positive life pathway, where we have an economy that works for everyone, where shared spaces and a rich cultural environment connect us, and where we all belong. I have a bold plan to defend and protect our democratic institutions. That's never been more important. Our goal should be simple, to make sure that 100% of eligible voters, Republicans and Democrats, vote in every single election. I support universal secure voting from home, automatic voter registration, 15 days of in-person statewide voting statewide. I'll strengthen public education funding, support democratically governed public charter schools like we do in the Valley, and renew the Wisconsin idea in our universities and technical colleges. I have a bold plan to end partisan gerrymandering. Let's hear it for that. It's twofold. I support an innovative weighted voting system in the Assembly and the Senate so that either party's share of the statewide vote totals actually equally represents their state's control of power. And I also support the Fair Maps Commission. We've got Fair Maps people here today as well. That commission's goal is to fairly draw district lines and allow voters to choose their representatives, not the other way around. As a responsible gun owner, I support the position that the right to keep and bear arms is a private right, not a public right. It's the exact issue that'll come before the U.S. Supreme Court this fall. Like so many in our state, I believe that firearms have no place in the public sphere. I support professional weapons only in the hands of democratically commanded and controlled law enforcement, and I support red flag laws when appropriate, while fully supporting the right to defend our homes. I believe the right to reproductive freedom is sacred, absolute and universal. I believe that while life begins at conception, public governance begins at natural birth, a baptismal moment at which the rights and responsibilities of citizenship are bestowed. I believe that women alone have the right to determine whether to become pregnant, whether to continue that pregnancy, and I will work tirelessly across the aisle to encourage positive family outcomes without coercion. I support the responsible funding of democratically commanded and controlled law enforcement and first responders. I support affirmative hiring practices to ensure that Wisconsin's communities of color are represented at all levels of law enforcement and that all communities be actively engaged in police oversight. I believe that public security is a universal right, that prison reform is long overdue, that both the public and law enforcement deserve to be safe, and that violations of the public trust should be vigorously prosecuted. And importantly, I fully support marriage equality in Wisconsin. To this day, the Wisconsin Constitution is in violation of Supreme Court precedents with the law of the land that guarantees equal protection to all couples. It's an embarrassment that the definition of marriage in our state and our Constitution has a footnote after it, which explains that this clause of our state governing document is unconstitutional. As your senator, I will introduce a constitutional amendment stating that marriage is defined as a legal union between two consenting adults. Full stop. And never again in our state will any human or any loving human relationship be seen merely as a footnote in history. The last layer in our cake, the cake we all want to get to, is the layer on which everything else is built, and that's the environment. We're here for a very important reason because the Fox River runs right behind us. I understand that behind every environmental challenge is an underlying economic cause. My years of listening and my skill as a successful investment manager will help to identify those root causes and will help to start a statewide conversation about how we best solve those challenges together. Water quality is the lifeblood of any community, and in our Fox Cities community, we've got Lake Winnebago, Little Lake Bunnamore, Lake Poygan, the Fox River, and all kinds of underground aquifers that supply drinking water to 170,000 people in our district. Each deserves our best effort to defeat contamination caused by human activity. Clean lakes and rivers not only support healthy populations of fish, but they create extensive tourism revenue for our region as well. I support statewide efforts to reduce runoff by nearly 90% over the next decade. I believe that this moment in time is unique, an opportunity to renew our natural Wisconsin ecosystem. I support science-based efforts across the state to restore 50% of natural prairie systems within existing developed boundaries, to support healthy soil, cleaner water, and help sequester carbon dioxide in our air. My plan to support cleaner, large-scale dairy production while helping small to mid-sized farmers transition to more sustainable agriculture is also a breath of fresh air for everyone. It would engage the power of the Wisconsin economy to create the world's largest agricultural bioproduct market, which would make Wisconsin carbon neutral in 15 years. It would make Wisconsin carbon neutral in 15 years. We should have had that conversation 15 years ago. We need to start it today. And while the vast majority of climate change isn't caused by Wisconsinites, we aren't immune to its effects. Our transition to a more sustainable society would set the standard for the nation, attract like-minded businesses from around the world, and make our state a global model for innovative climate leadership. So this is a bold agenda. It's a bold vision for the future of our state. It's not based on the politics of divisiveness or regret, but on the unifying themes of a healthy economy, a healthy society, and a healthy natural environment. The district we're in today is one of the great areas of our state and includes Neenah, Menasha, Appleton, Greenville, Town of Grand Chute, Village of Fox Crossing, Winchester, Dale, Winnicott, Larson. Did I miss anybody? And all parts in between. To the 155,000 voters of the district and the 175,000 residents, I just ask for two things over the next year: an open heart and an open mind. I'm a different kind of Democrat in a lot of ways because I bring a very balanced approach to this campaign and to my life in general. Between now and November 8th of next year, I pledge to work hard to meet as many residents as possible, to listen to as many stories as possible, and to better discover what binds us all together. So I want to thank you all for coming today to support my candidacy, to support these ideas, and to enjoy this wonderful time together. Thanks to Lisa, Megan, Raquel, and Danielle from Red Shoes for putting together this amazing event. Let's give them a round of applause. To my treasurer, Steve Williams, And my technology expert, Kyle. Where's Kyle? Right next to him, yeah. For their friendship and their support. To my newly installed campaign manager, Charlie. Where's Charlie? There's Charlie. He suggested this fantastic location. You hit a home run for the start. Our first fundraising campaign will actually be the Feed Charlie campaign, right? He needs a sandwich. We're gonna pay Charlie a living wage. We're gonna pay him health care. We're gonna make sure that his transportation costs are fully reimbursed, just like we want for everyone in the state as well. And thanks to the band, Tim, Dane, Mark, in the back. I want to give a shout out to my son from the far-flung wilds of Scotland. He'll be listening to the live stream later. And a thank you to all of you. Also, big thanks to Jason Thiel, our photographer. Jason, the headshots are all Jason. The photos on the website are Jason. So thank you, Jason. Okay, so sustainable development is bigger than any one party, and it can mean many different things to many people. I invite you to join me, to tell your friends, to invite others to like the campaign, to endorse the campaign, and to donate to the campaign. I hope you will each enthusiastically endorse my candidacy, and that you'll generously offer your financial support as we combine the best ideas from Wisconsin, from all sides of the spectrum, into a campaign we can all be proud of. One that proposes bold initiatives from right here in our state, and one that makes Wisconsin a model of sustainability for our nation and for the world. Now, let's eat.
Here, here.